Hi everyone, you're here with Brendan from Fuzz Factory Touring. I'm joined with a special guest, Andrew Pana of Old Goat Smoke. How are you, Andrew?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good. Now, Old Goat Smoke coming to WA for the Armageddon show on the 28th of September at the Rosemount. First time that you guys have been over here. For
Yeah.
those that don't know about Old Goat Smoke, I did a bit of research for everyone just to save everyone the trouble. You did a demo. What it says on Spotify is back in 1970. I've got to say, you look really good for 85 years old, Andrew. What's the secret? Botox, is it? Or, well, what's going on?
Yeah, no, we're looking good for that age,
Yeah.
eh?
No,
No, you
seriously,
know,
give us a bit of history on Old Goat Smoke.
um, okay, it would have been, let's say it's a couple of years back now. We'll say it's 24 months ago. Mark and I sort of got together, both fans of, Iron Monkey and I Hate God. And, obviously I play drums in Comacozer as well. And I've always wanted to do something, a little bit heavier. Um, we both had the same sort of musical taste, and I think we actually found each other on through social media and the like. And Mark plays guitar in Iron Blanket. We finally got together, and initially I was playing bass. So we were just started out writing riffs, and I'm like, you know what? We all know how difficult it is to find a drummer anywhere.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, so I said, look, I'll just as much at the time I didn't really want to. I'm like, oh look, I'll just jump on drums and then we can move forward. And then yeah, we've sort of through the same channel we found Jack on bass, and
Yep.
the three of us yeah, we're just I suppose just jamming, coming up with riffs, seeing what where it was all heading. Loads of fun in what we were coming up with, uh, and then obviously Tony, we were like, oh, who do we get to do vocals on this thing? And it's a pretty um, unusual, genre to sort of find someone who's just sort of been there and done it, maybe around the same age group.
Yeah.
Um, and then we sort of threw it at him. We knew he had a lot going on with between your made bookings and everything else. And he goes, yeah, I'd love to do it. So that's how it sort of all came together. So sort of everyone sort of knew each other in a roundabout way, um, which sort of happens these days. Yeah, so with sort of a couple of years in, it took us a while to sort of get going, but once we got a bit of momentum there, and started getting the set together and doing a few shows and the like.
Nice. And you mentioned Comacozer, powerhouse drumming behind that band as well. How do you balance the two, and how do you keep inspiration for both? Are you listening to different types of music for both, or how do you keep the two separate?
Oh, really good question. I Kamikaze is probably it makes it a bit easier. We've been together 12, 13 years now. Uh, where when it comes to creating that music, we're all on the same wavelength. It's quite effortless when we get together. Don't get me wrong, we've been a little bit quiet of late, with family and kids, and
Yep.
the other boys have got newborns and that, but we're Rich will give you the rundown on that one.
Yep.
But look, don't get me wrong, initially it was it was quite a, a drastic change to go from something that's so free flowing, a lot of improv, um, a lot, more dynamic playing to something that's highly structured and just really heavy hitting. Um, yeah, that was quite challenging initially, but in saying that, playing with Mark and the boys are pretty easy um, to create music with. And Old Goat Smoke, it's not anything overly technical.
Yep.
It's just about being dirty and really just trying to have the hooks in there more than being really flamboyant with all these changes and the like. Um, So yeah. Look, it took a while, but once I sort of got there, it was like, oh yeah, this is loads of fun. But I mean, I probably do listen to more the heavier side of music than the psych side. I still
Yeah.
listen to it here and there, but I've been a metalhead since I was you know a youngster. So that's where that's what I listen to most of the time anyway. So
And you mentioned Iron Monkey before and the demo a couple of years ago. What are you up to now? You're listening, you writing new songs, you're getting new influences. Is it something new on the horizon for old Goat Smoke?
well, yes. Look, we've been writing for a while. Like I said, I think because everyone's in other bands, and Tony's got he's away with touring a fair bit, as you know.
Yeah.
Um, so there are challenges at times getting together and doing that, but we definitely have an album or near an album's worth of music. It's just a matter of a bit of fine tuning and the like, and uh, sort of setting a goal and saying, hey, look, we've got to get in and do this. But on the flip side, the demo, Primitive Moth are going to release it on tape. Um, hopefully over the next few months.
Cool.
Um, you know, uh, Ray and Matt at the label, they've been fans of us, from our first show, and we're sort of, let's get a good DIY sort of release happening. So that's pretty exciting to actually have it on a pretty cool old school format. Um, so yeah, that hopefully we'll get that done in the next couple of months, and then get in the studio and just get the whole an album's full of tracks done. But the songs are there, yes.
Nice. I guess the cassette's going to add to that whole gritty lo-fi sludge raw sound that sounds so great for what you guys do and other bands.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, from day one, I think we had a pretty good idea of what we wanted to do. Mixing a bit of doom, bit of sludge, bit of old punk sort of element or crusty element to
Yeah.
it. It is, to an element, to a degree, it is quite lo-fi, and we want it to be that way. It's highly tongue in cheek. Whether it's lyrically and the song titles and stuff like that. So we just try to keep it as much, as fun as possible, and not too overly serious in topical elements and the like.
And just for a bit of tech talk, I know you tinker around with drums a little bit.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
got any new drum projects on the horizon? You're making anything that you want to talk about
Uh,
and give it a spruik?
well, no, probably, you know what, the one that I've done lately, I actually finished a full kit uh, for a mate of mine, Dan, who's got a recording studio here. Um, and it's a beach, Scandinavian beach kit, um, 22, 13, 22, 12, 13, 16, 18. Um, we gave it a bit of a Camco sort of look, DW style lugs and um, sort of a thermogloss finish. Um,
Nice.
it sounds. Look, I'll actually hear it on Friday when I head down to the studio just to give it a tune and that. But that was a lot of fun. It came out really good. Yeah, snares I'm doing all the time for different people.
Yep.
It's just time permitting. Um, the other cool one I did the other day, I did a 13 by 7 cast steel. Um, Man, this thing weighed was so freaking heavy. The guy in Perth, oh no, sorry, it's a Sydney guy that I built it for. It'll break his back carrying it everywhere, but it's got I did a patina finish, rust on it,
Yeah.
and it came out really good. So yeah.
And if anyone's interested in learning more about your drums, I mean, can they do orders through those yourself? Is there something online that they can
Well,
check out through
preferably not.
you?
Oh, you know what? Look, don't get me wrong. For me, it really is the stress relief.
Yeah.
Um, coming down the shed, tinkering, and I think the experimentation of different different shell um, uh, and finishes and stuff like that. It's fun. Yeah, look, I love doing it. Anyone can, drop me a line if they want something.
Yep. Nice. Cool. And
Absolutely.
yeah, you guys coming to Perth, 28th of September. First time that Old Goat Smoke's playing. I don't think Comacozer have been here as well.
No,
What are you
no,
looking
neither band.
forward? What are you looking forward to getting in Perth and checking out? I think you've been over here before, but yeah, the
Yeah,
crowds over here. Any bands that you want to check out? What are you keen for when you're over here?
you know what? The funny thing about it is, I think all of us in both bands, besides the fact of playing Perth because we've never done it, is exciting, especially for Coma because
Yep.
we've been together so long and played everywhere in Australia bar Perth. But I think we're just excited to catch up with the other bands and hang out. It really is a, a weekend away, right?
It's the
And
Wild
what's
West
better
over
than
here. It's the last
yeah, yeah.
frontier of Australia.
Absolutely. What better way of having a weekend away and watching a heap of freaking good bands? But yeah, look, a lot. I think the other thing is where all of us have sort of pretty chuffed that it's such a diverse lineup. Because you do get those shows where it's like four doom bands or it's
Yeah.
four death metal bands or whatever, where this lineup it's so diverse and it's a good array of bands. I like that. Something, going from Psych to a Doom to a something a bit heavier again, and obviously Stone Jesus, been around a long time. They'll be really cool to watch.
It's going to be a huge festival. Yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys over here as well. Finally, we'll finish up with the question. It's the Ozzy Osbourne thing that's been floating around everywhere at the moment. Favorite Ozzy Osbourne song, either Sabbath, Ozzy, whatever it is. Tell us a story.
Oh man. Okay. Look, favorite song is War Pigs.
Yep.
It sort of always will be for me. But as a 10-year-old, um, I heard the title track, I heard Black Sabbath first. Those three notes, I'll never forget hearing them. As a young guy, my one of my cousins had the album on vinyl. At the time I was AC/DC and Kiss and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And then I just remember hearing it and going, wow, okay, that's like dark as anything. And then as it went on, listening to the album, that was the game changer for me and nearly everyone else, right?
Absolutely. It was for me too,
Yeah.
mate. It's a massive, massive song.
So
Um,
yeah, I think for me as well, the other really big factor is not that I'm not the most technical drummer or you know uh, that good of a drummer compared to others, but Bill Ward was just a massive influence um, in the way I play.
Incredible
Um,
drummer.
uh,
Great swing,
yeah, yeah,
feel, everything.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I wish I could do. I wish I could have that swing, but as an influence, that I think for me that was one of the big ones that sort of got me started playing drums.
Awesome. Andrew, thanks for your time today, mate. 28th of September, Rosemount Hotel. Come see Old Goat Smoke and Comacozer as well, and everyone else that's playing Armageddon. Thank you.
Can't wait.
All right, mate. See
See
ya.
you then.